thing in the campus. You guys seem to have like a pretty packed schedule when I check to program days.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty steady today.
Today is more of the like, thank you for being here, and tomorrow's more of the fun stuff, I think.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because we wanted to have you at the composition studio class this morning, and the alumni office was like, no, 9:30 is no.
Bummer. Yeah, I would have loved to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully some of the composers will come here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check it out.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, let's maybe wait a couple minutes for Josh.
Sure.
I mean, it's still.
Yeah.
Yes, go threaten them. It looks what?
It looks a little smaller than I remember.
Yeah. Has this changed the space at all? No.
what I'm doing. My name is Josh Waymeyer. I am the director of bands at Valley High School in West Des Moines, Iowa, and have been in that job here for a little over a decade now. I don't have any cool other stuff. Like, I just love teaching. I am at Valley High School 60 hours a week, but not because I can't go home, but because I just love what I do. And then I go home and I see my kids. And like right now, you know, we're talking about fundraising. I've got a 40-plus performance marching band festival coming up here in 2 weeks that'll make anywhere between $70,000 and $100,000 for the program. So we do things a little differently. We'll start first band at 8 a.m. Iowa State University will be an exhibition at 11 p.m. and we'll have bands pretty much every 15 minutes, save lunch, dinner all day. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Will you help me welcome them back? All right, first question in my list that I put together all of 10 minutes ago. How does it feel being back? They were sharing
how, again, it's like I've stepped into the same universe, but just obviously at a different time. Nothing really changes here, but it's just the people. Like always, we used to say, of course, if you guys still say, people make the difference. And we've seen a lot of the new things that are kind of, he was telling me about Kirk building in the gym. That's fairly new or fairly renovated. And then just being able to reconnect with people from the past that I wouldn't otherwise get to, you know, commune with because I'm in my own little world in St. Louis. So it's been very, very positive to take a trip down memory lane with what we've seen.
What? No, stop. I'm not trying to do it. To echo 25, all that. It feels a little bit like there's just so many ghosts in this building, and I don't mean that in a spooky way, but literally so many people have come before you guys and walked these halls and performed on the stage, and people before us and people after you guys, and it's just such a cool lineage. And I have so many fond memories, and a lot of those memories obviously are attached to music, but mostly it's the people and the friends and the community. And I'm just so glad for you all to have those experiences like we got to have them. And it will like stay with you forever. And Truman will always, just like Hogwarts, it'll always be so millennial. I'm sorry I said that. It will always be home in a way. Like you can come back and it's like, like you said, things change, but things stay the same. And it's like the heart of it is always here. And it's just really cool.
I think the only thing I have to add, because all of that is true, is I saw myself with my friends in all of the people I see as I walk around. And as much as music making was a huge part of my experience at Truman, it was quite literally all I did when I didn't have to go somewhere else on campus. It was the people that really made the Truman experience what it is. And so when you walk back in and you kind of see these spaces, I don't just remember that there's a bug flying here, but I remember that standing on the stage in August when the marching band was standing out here and we were having our first music rehearsal. And I remember sitting up on the third floor on the mezzanine and just sitting around those couches. I don't know if the couch is still up there. I haven't been up to the third floor yet. I made it the second. And sitting on those couches with my friends and blowing off classes or getting ready for the test that was coming in music history. I didn't blow off any classes. I apologize. When you're in here every day, it's just the next thing. It's just when you're in here every day, it's just the next thing. It's just the classroom. It's just your professors. It's just this, that, and the other. But you come back and it just welcomes you, and that sense washes over you. And it is so much fun to just come back in here. I've been in here a few times since I graduated, but it has been about 8 or 9 years since I've been in this building, and it still floods back. It still gives me chills. It still is exciting and fun to walk back in and see this place and be flooded with the memories that I had here.
Well said.
Yeah. Ooh, the first thing that comes to mind, too many things. I mean, I think generically the thing that comes to mind is it's the same answer. It's the people. It's sitting on the third floor and stressing about a music theory test with Dr. Gooch. It's when Dr. Rice was teaching music history, making sure we were ready for what was coming, because he had a way of putting everything on the test in a way that was there, but not in the way that my brain had studied it. And so trying to make sure I was going to figure out which way I remembered it. I've got some great memories with Phi Mu Alpha. I had pledged when I was here, and so some of those things come flooding back to me, and some of the sites. But I think the memory is the people, and that's a cop-out answer, I realize, but that it truly, like, I can't single one out in the moment.
Yeah, I think a lot of my fondest memories are OP After Dark. So that sounded suggestive. It's not. No. Yeah. So I think coming to Truman was like, oh my gosh, like I could just like go anywhere I want. Like no one is here to like tell me what to do. Like such a good feeling of freedom. Like my parents those two, and they had like locked it up. When did they lock it up? Midnight. Yeah. So typically I would try to like stay past midnight if I can. I'm not officially recommending that, but unofficially I am recommending that. Like find a place to hide and then let them sweep the building and then just stay for a little bit. But like coming here at night is like it's that feeling of freedom, and it's that feeling of like curiosity and discovery, and just like hanging out with people, making memories. And yes, like all the classes are like beautiful, wonderful things. But man, we played like sardines and hide and seek, and like just got our friends, and like just I don't know. It's I have so many fond memories of like all of the unofficial happening.
So I guess one of the first memories that comes to my mind is my experience with our a cappella group, True Men. If they're still around, I don't even know. Okay, heck yes. And so yeah, Carter and I both sang with the ensemble, and we would do countless concerts, countless gigs around town, on campus and off campus. We've done weddings. We rehearse, obviously, in a space, usually in this building, and like the connection that we made musically. We still, like a lot of us that are, even we're all in different places, we still will come together and connect when somebody has a baby or somebody gets married or whatever. It's those types of connections that, resonate strongest in my mind about my experience here while we were, because the music was phenomenal. We did some crazy arrangements, and Acapella Fest was always an experience. ICCA, those trips that we did for the competitions, was an experience, and it was magical.
Sorry, who's the Truman person? What's your name? Jack? Okay. So the new Kirk building, like what do they call it? The Forum. Are there plans to do like a acapella concert there? Because my wife and I walked in and we were like, this is the place to do it. Think about it. I think it'd be great.
That space was just open. In fact, I haven't seen it yet. Sorry. But yeah, yeah. And so the possibilities in terms of doing concerts, it's kind of, we're all trying to find out. Like I look into it for the New Music Festival and then realize there's no piano. But for a cappella, of course, that would be great. Yeah. Yeah. Of the things.
So, and it's actually, that resonates with a question that I had for our first panel this morning, how liberal arts has affected your career, your professional path, or something like that. And it's pretty much the same response. It's this, the liberal arts experience really equips you all with the confidence, assuming you do all your work, with the confidence to go out, go forward, and do the things that you need to do to propel your career forward. Just a lot of the things that I've applied for, I wouldn't dream of doing it because I did not have either the skill or even the confidence to even think it was possible. The artist grants I've applied for, the music festivals I've applied for. I just did a residency with Opera Theater and wrote an opera for the first time. And those are things that I wouldn't, find myself in a position to be able to do without the liberal arts education that they offer here, because it's that strong. And so to continue on that, you will get, even though you apply for all of those things, you'll get like 100+ no's. Don't get me wrong. And just because you apply doesn't mean you're going to get it. But all you really need is one or two yeses to propel your career forward. And that, from the liberal arts experience and from my time here, is what's helped my career succeed the most.
Good answer. Yeah. What was the question? Was it?
Is there anything that you remember learning here that helps you on a daily basis on what you do as a professional?
No. Just kidding. So yes, everything. I think obviously like all the opportunities afforded by like the a cappella group or I was a composition major and voice major, so I got to just like try out a lot of stuff. So I just got to do so many things that I wouldn't have gotten to do otherwise. But I think the thing that really impacted me the most was all the stuff I hated at the time. So I don't know about any of you guys, but one of the things I hated about the music major was all the like attending other people's recitals. Anyone else hate that? Yeah, maybe I'm just like the worst person ever. Yeah, okay, good. So, yeah, because I'm just like, why am I listening to this? Like, and a lot of stuff is required of you that you're kind of like, why am I here? But looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't even realize it, but that was teaching me so much about supporting like each other in the arts, and like making me realize music is, it's like love, where like the more you give, the more you get, and it just like feeds on itself. And it's not a competition. And I think I had a competitive mindset entering college, and I was like, I have to be the best. I have to be the best Truman music student. And so many things I did made me realize, oh my gosh, like more you guys are able to like just say, hey, person over there, let's do a collaborative thing together. Like that's really like where the magic happens. And where now that I'm a teacher, I'm realizing that like joy comes from celebrating others, and it's not from celebrating yourself. And so I found so much joy in just like supporting others and all the things that I thought was like the worst, and now I think is the best. So next time you're in a recital that you're just bored out of your mind, just like remember to like stay present in the moment as much as you can, and afterwards like go celebrate that person who just put themselves out there, because that'll be you the next time, and you want your friends to come see you, right? So the more you can like support each other, the better.
I think the thing that I take away most often is that the pursuit of excellence is relentless but worth the work, and something that we have to instill in for me, the students I teach, that you can be good and want more. And Truman has a way of making you feel like everything you do is incredible, but then you walk in, and whether it's your studio professor, your ensemble teacher, or just one of your music classes, they make you realize that you want more, that you can do more, that there is another level beyond the one you're currently at. And so then I have made it kind of a personal mission of mine to tell my kids often, you are good right now, but I want you to be the next thing. I want you to go past what you think is possible, and I want you to trust me that this is going to be hard, but worth it, because the result on the other side is what you want, and that determination and resilience that comes from not just being good enough, not just getting a 90%. I mean, the analogy, if you hit 90% of the notes in a piece of music, nobody's going to want to listen to you, right? But 90%, getting to 99, getting to 99.1, 0.2, and that relentless pursuit that comes out on the other side worth it is one of the things that I have continued to pursue with myself and my students to this day.
So you all teach?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but when I started teaching, I found myself repeating some of the things that my teachers used to say. In some cases, I wasn't surprised, because there were things that I remember finding meaningful at the time. But in some cases, oh, that's what they meant.
Mm-hmm.
Can you relate, can you think of any of your teachers here that you find yourself either understanding later what they meant or repeating what they initially said that marked you, that you found significant?
I mean, I go even farther than that. I mean, half of or more of what I do in my rehearsals is a direct reflection of the ensembles I was with here. And Dan Peterson, when he was directing bands, he had Pete's rules. And rule number 1, the melody must always be heard. Rule number 2, lows lead crescendos. Rule number 3, highs lead decrescendos. And I instilled those in myself. And Pete taught us all those, and we heard them every day. And now my kids repeat them back to me. I say, what's rule number 1? And my kids repeat those things back to me. And to me, at the time, it was one of those, well, yeah, duh moments. Like it didn't seem significant. And the more I have been teaching, it's just one of those simple things. And I tell the thousands of millions of songs that are based off that. But you take away the melody and you don't have uniqueness. You don't have that piece. You just have the structure. And so just little things like that I picked up through rehearsals, that I picked up in the most innocuous of ways that directly apply. I mean, I still use the same structure of warm-up that I used in Wind Symphony when I was here to teach my ensemble every day. It's different materials, it's a different chorale in front of them, it's different warm-up book, but it's the same structure, starting with a chorale, moving through technique and tone development into the same tuning process. Like, I stole those things because they were so beneficial to what we were doing, and I think those kinds of things, right now, your job is to absorb them. You don't know what's going to matter to you when you get into any sort of professional opportunity past here. But absorb them, because some of them are going to be relevant, and they're going to be relevant in ways you don't see yet, or in ways that maybe you start to see, but the second you start being the one to execute them rather than absorb them.
Yeah, it's really good. We keep going in this order. Do you have anything to say? I can talk, but okay, I'll talk. Sorry. What was the question? It was, is there anything...
Any way in which you find yourself repeating...
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I got it. I'm in it. I'm here. Yeah, like, obviously, everything you pick up here is going to be woven into the fabric of your, like, very DNA, right? So you're not even going to realize the stuff that you repeat, like, 15 years later that you heard here, right? I will say I did a lot of parodying without understanding at first. So, like, for example, I was a choral TA, and they would make us, like, give feedback in voice studio to other undergrad students, and someone would sing, and I'd have to walk up there and be like, have you tried imagining like a watermelon, and then it's like floating and it's covered in dark chocolate? Have you tried singing it like that? And at the time, I'm like, what am I saying? But like that, because that's how voice teachers are. Sorry, it's true. And so much of that is just like magic and not actually scientific, but it works. And I think it's cool because as the years go by, I peel back the layers of like, what did they mean by that? And then I'm able to like process and pass that on to my students in a way that makes sense to them, because not everyone can imagine a watermelon covered in chocolate, but like maybe that works for some kids and not others, right? It's such a mental thing. But yeah, I think just whenever you feel like you're drowning and you need to say something, just like steal.
So for me, the thing that I've probably taken from a teacher that I apply in my classroom, and let me just say, in an orchestra classroom, when you're dealing with students whose technique can sometimes be a struggle, you fix everything. You fix like the wrist, you fix the fingers, you fix the bow hold, you do all of this only for them to go right back to the thing that you didn't want them to do. And so a lot of times I'll just have to repeat the same thing before we start either the warm-up, the scale, or the shifting exercise. It's like, okay, feet flat, edge of your chair, sit up straight, cellos, get your elbows up, make sure your wrists are straight, violins. And like, it's a whole thing. I got to just go down the checklist. And so to piggyback off what you were saying, sometimes finding another way to kind of say the same thing, but maybe allow them to hear it differently, whether it's, okay, pretend that the fingerboard is a ship, and you got to send your hands out to sea, and they got to look like really good. Now, and then automatically their wrist is just perfect. And it's like, why couldn't you just do that in the first place? I don't understand it. But all in all, both Dr. Cuban and Dr. Groby's predecessor, Dr. McClure, I don't know if any of you got the chance to meet him. instilled such strong fundamental values and technique that it is 100% ingrained in my head, in my skull, for the sake of helping these students pursue excellence, get to a level of at least close to mastery that helps set them up for an experience like what their Truman experience could be. But it is going to require you to repeat yourself a few times to really let it stick the landing. But that's why also giving students the opportunity and exposing them to, going to the St. Louis Symphony and bringing in an ensemble to show them. So they sometimes just need to hear it from somebody else. You can repeat yourself all day long, but when that person comes in and says it, sometimes it just works.
So I often tell students that it's okay for them to change their minds while they're at school. They discover all of these paths that they didn't know existed. I myself entered my undergrad as a performer, had never composed, discovered composition, went at that rabbit hole, didn't think ever wanted to teach. At some point I ended up teaching out of necessity, and that's pretty much what I do right now. How if they have your interests changed over time, both during your time here or after graduation?
So fun fact, I did not take composition here at all. I did take arranging with Dr. Gran, but I did not take any composition courses. I never really thought I would pursue anything compositionally. It wasn't something that I felt like I could do and do well. And honestly, even if I wrote it, who's gonna want to listen to that? Like it was like some of those things that you kind of say to kick yourself a little bit, but like. It's crazy how life will just throw things at you. And this is why I always tell to my students when they're graduating, I have the same message to my graduating seniors. And it's to keep music in your life, because when bad things happen, when life happens, it is something to fall on and lean on that will support and carry you through. For instance, in 2019, I lost my brother in a car crash in Dallas. Completely changed everything. I was destroyed after that. Didn't expect it. It was very sudden. Didn't know someone that I thought would always be there, therapeutic, that would help me get my feelings, what I could not put into words, what I was feeling. And so it's crazy that life just kind of pushed me towards composition, something that I did not necessarily ever think that I would pursue. And now it's evolved into this.
Yeah. Oh, man. Such wisdom up here. That's crazy. So I would just say, well, can I ask you a question? Audience participation. Does anyone feel any anxiety about the future, and particularly like career future? Yes, good. Okay, so when I was sitting where you guys are, I was the same way, and I started as I forget what triggered it, but I was like, okay, I guess I'll try it. And then as I got into it, I was like, oh, I cannot hack it as a performer. Like, I hate practicing more than anything in the entire world. I hate it. And to be an amazing performer, to make money, like, you need to love practicing. I feel like that's, yeah. And so I was like, well, what's left? Truman does not have music therapy yet, does not have music business yet. Congratulations that you do now. And I have one thing left, which is education. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go down this path. And the pathway felt like I was traveling down a hallway trying to get somewhere, and it was getting darker the more years went on, and just more confusing. And I literally felt the walls close in on me as I went freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, because all of a sudden you go from gen eds to more specific. And now you're doing like all the education classes. And I felt so much anxiety about that all the time. So I was like, I don't know, what if I don't want to be a teacher? What if I don't want blah, 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 blah? And I felt so much squeeze and stress, and I hated going to my education classes, and I hated all this and hated all this because I just felt myself being pigeonholed, and I was afraid of what if I just get trapped in this box of a career and I don't like it? What am I going to do? And I will say there is hope on the other side of that. And if whatever you're thinking as a career is the career for you, then that is that's amazing. That's great. And for me, teaching became like it's the best. It's the best thing ever. And I never thought I would find so much joy from it, but I do. But like you can change your mind at any point, and there is no hallway that is keeping you trapped. Like open a door and check out this other place, or walk outside the hallway and just incredible career, whatever that ends up being, whether that's music related or something else. But I just want to encourage you. There is life after the squeeze and the stress. Like you will get through it. I promise you will. Yeah.
I don't have fun stories like that. I decided my sophomore year of high school that I wanted to go into music education, that I wanted to teach band. I had been a student leader in the marching band, and at that point loved watching the light bulb go off when I helped other people get better at their instruments or marching or whatever. And I was like, I could do that. That brings me joy. And from that point on, I left high school with I want to go into music education, want to teach band, and someday I want to get a job at a high school like the one I graduated from. And lo and behold, here I am. It is 2025, and I have been teaching at the high school I graduated from for 13 years and love every minute of my job. And so I don't have some of those stories. Those are galvanizing stories. Those are important things that happen. And I tell kids all the time, like, you should go and learn as much about everything that you can so that you know that whatever you do choose is the best thing for you. Because what you want to do right now is based on the knowledge you currently have. And the best thing you can do for yourself is get as much knowledge as possible and treat it in the broadest sense so that you can follow that passion wherever it does take you. It's just that my personal experience, I found that passion when I was about 15 years old and am now 39 years old and still have the same passion and still able to do that and find the joy in it. I remember sitting in Dr. Smith's Truman Week freshman theory class, and him looking out at the room of us, most of whom were music ed majors. There's probably 30 of us, give or take, in the room. And him saying, about 90% of you are going to drop out of the music ed. A lot of you will finish music, but not a lot of you will end up as teachers. And I don't know that I've kept track of everyone from that room, but it was 100% true. And as I'm thinking about this, I can only come up with two other people that I know from that room are still teaching music from, that would have been the fall of 2004. And so it is okay. And all of those people, I'm still in touch with a decent number. In fact, I saw one of them. This is the most random story. I was in New York, on a trip with a travel company because we're going to take the band there spring break of 27. And I'm scrolling social media while I'm there and noticed New York right now. Ended up meeting her on Times Square and met her 14-year-old daughter for like the third or fourth time in my life. And she's not doing music, but all those connections are still there, and she's doing great. Her family's doing great. Everything about it is wonderful. So I don't have one of those stories to tell, but I can tell you the best thing you can do for yourself is to experience everything that, whether it's Truman or your home community or your future community, should you go into grad school or a job somewhere else, experience what it has to offer and continue to chase your passions. Continue to do the thing that makes you happy, because it will make, I talked about doing 40 to 50 to 60-hour weeks. Most of them are not that long in terms of how they feel, because I'm doing what I love with people that I like working with. And that, to me, makes all the difference. You know, one of the things we talk about in education, particularly in music programs, is the culture that we need to create. And we create a culture among students where students want to be a part of. But I think it is equally important that if you are in a situation where you are teaching alongside other people, the culture among you and your colleagues is important, because it sets the tone for the relationships they see and how they will interact with each other. And so the more you can encourage some of those things, I went on like 3 tangents in this answer, so I'll kind of wrap it up there. But I think those are all important things that have helped make me, I would call myself successful, but I always feel weird talking that positively about myself. So.
Well, we have 10 minutes left, and I want to see if you guys have any questions.
a little bit of it is that, at least from my perspective. There were the first time I got planned a trip, it was. I had just gotten my current job, and I was a third-year teacher, and they said the band station that I did that. But the other piece of it is you need mentors. You need people who you can reach out to, whether they're your Truman faculty and you reach back out to people here. I have had Truman faculty come up and see us in Des Moines and clinic my kids. I have a network of band directors that I am close with, some of whom are my age, some of whom are a little younger, some of whom are a lot older, and we have dinner once a month and just talk about everything that's going on. And you continue to find these people, and at some point they turn from mentors to just colleagues and friends and things like that. But find somebody who's doing what you're doing, who you think does it well, and just ask them what they do and how they get there, because there is no substitute for experience. And even if it's not your own, someone has probably done it. So I don't know on the other things, but at least from my perspective.
That was most of it, is what he said. Yeah, steal from other people, ask other people, be a student always. Even when you're a teacher, you're a student, and give yourself grace, because the first couple of years will be rough. And I look back on my first couple of years teaching going, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? But the kids didn't know any better. All they knew was that someone showed up and cared about them that day. And that's what they remember. And it's not about like, oh, I missed this like unit and the scaffolding and the differentiation. It's just like, do you care about them? Are you there for them? That's what they'll
move on. And then I use it again the next day and the next day and the next day.
It's a great question, because they do not prepare you for the classroom. All the education classes did not prepare me for when you actually have to stand up in front of kids and they're staring at you, and it's the first day, and I couldn't even talk because my throat was so dry and I needed water so bad. And it's so scary, but it is a little bit of throw it in the deep end. But yeah, the more you can be inside of a classroom right now, even outside of all the observation hours they require of you, the better you will feel about it.
For me, it was probably classroom management. In a music class, it's not just the mouth that goes. It's the music that goes and happens when it's supposed to and when it's not. So finding those ways, whatever it is, whether it's a quiet signal, whether it's a routine, something that you've come up and that you've established with the group from day one, like, this is when I need your attention. If I step on the podium, that means I need your attention, so everything else needs to stop. And if you put that, you establish that on day one, it usually carries through with a few discrepancies along the way, but it carries through for the whole school year and allows you to set the tone that you need to get work done. In terms of how hectic it can be when you're in a classroom with a bunch of children and they're all making all of these sounds and doing all of these things that they're not supposed to, and sword fighting with the bows and dropping things and kicking things, like it could go way left real quick. But making sure that you have some distractions less, that is how I have evolved to develop my classroom management, which still isn't perfect because people aren't perfect, but has improved.
Yes. I have three quick things. So one is the classroom management piece. I always assumed the kids would just care as much as I did and would know how would know what a quarter note is. I'm like, yeah, you're in high school, you know what a quarter note is. And then you just make assumptions, and you can never make assumptions. And I also assumed that they would want to get along and be nice to each other, and that's not always the case. You have to actually enforce in concepts like cooperation, trust, love, like all of those things, and enforce those. Sorry, so I know I said a couple things. Another was always wanting to do everything for them. So do. All right, everyone. Yeah, you got your pitch. Oh, that was wrong. That was, and just like micromanaging, like just stand back, let them do their thing, and then let them learn how to self-correct. That was a big lesson I learned. And then, gosh, I had one other thing. You should talk.
I don't know that I have that much more to add, but I think the one thing that I would add is as a struggle, one of the things that is harder to foresee, because one of the things I did learn here is to value people and to value the people who do the little things for you, the secretaries, the transportation people, all of that. All of that message was drilled into me here and something I value to this day. But the thing that I kind of just got lost sight of is that everyone, and particularly the high-functioning school that I'm at, everyone wants their group to be excellent. Everyone wants their thing to be great, and everyone is trying to pull the kids' time, and everyone is trying to pull the kids' energy, and everyone is trying to, get into the same pool of money, and people are not necessarily actively working against you. They are working for their program. But the times that you're going to feel like someone is working against you was something I was not necessarily prepared for, and I've had to learn how to navigate the relationships with people who maybe don't have a direct relationship. It's not those, obvious contact points, but, the robotics sponsor and the robotics competition that we're going to the same weekend as solo and ensemble, and how do we navigate some of those things. And everybody wants what's best for their kids, and going to that robotics competition and this solo competition are what's individually best for our programs, but then getting to know and build relationships so that when we call each other and we say, hey, we've got this, you've got this, can they get to mine by 12:30? Can you get them with their portion to end?
Well, actually, I think we're done. We're almost out of time. Maybe we have time for one more question. Jack, did you have a question? It was already answered. Okay, so I want to close by saying that I'm a pretty proud of our department. I'm pretty proud of what we do with music here at Truman, and it's because of people like you. It's because of people like you that are not only great musicians, great teachers, but that overall you're all wonderful people. So thank you so much for spending this time with us. I think there was so much good advice, so many wonderful lessons that were packed in these 50 minutes, and I really appreciate that you all came here and made it happen. Please help me thank them. You guys are going to be on campus for the next 24 hours or so, right? Or more. So you can catch them somewhere at the game tomorrow. I don't know. So you can catch them somewhere at the game tomorrow. I don't know.
I was going to ask, okay, what time? I was going to ask, okay, what time? 12:15. All right. Yes, tomorrow?
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. That was awesome. Thank you. That was a blast. Yeah. No, please. Thank you. They already said it all.